We'll go ahead and have John start us with our inspiration.
Morning, please rise. Last week, we had a fantastic Toastmasters speech contest, and what more inspiration can you ask for than to see the level of excellence that the folks who presented gave us. So as we pursue excellence like that, I think of a quote from Vince Lombardi who said that no one can be perfect, but in the pursuit of perfection, we can achieve excellence.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. God bless us.
And let's read the mission. Who would like to read the mission on the lower left-hand corner of your agenda for me?
I will.
Go ahead, Cindy.
We provide a supportive and positive learning experience
in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Hoorah!
Okay, let's talk business. What kind of business do we have? Dues. Everyone bring your dues, $40. They are due for right now. We don't go up till October.
Oh, I see.
It's not till October because that's when Toastmasters International goes up. But right now we're still at 40. It's due by I think March 31st.
March 31st.
So everyone, please bring your $40 dues to stay an active member.
Show opening this weekend. Hope to see you all there. Dinner at theater at the square. If you can't catch it this weekend, next weekend, Friday and Sunday, and the week after on Friday the 25th.
Okay. We also have area contests coming up. I am going to pass around a sheet. If you could please sign up for duties. If you're competing, obviously you can't sign up for duty that particular contest, but you can on the other contest. So please go ahead and sign up for duties. We do need a lot of roles filled. So I will pass this around to have people sign up for duties. And we do want all the clubs represented. So I do already have
This Saturday,
next Saturday, the 19th. It's from 8 to noon at the Absalom. And I do need some people to bring some snacks so we can have some food. I'll bring water. If you want coffee, you bring it because I am not putting that nasty stuff in my car. So I'm telling you straight up, you want coffee, you got to bring it or someone else has to bring it because I'm not putting that in my car and having my car stink. I know you guys love coffee. I don't. I don't even let it have it in my house. Let's see. Any other business? Okay, well, I'm your Toastmaster today, too. So in addition to starting the meeting, I'm also your Toastmaster. So you all know me, Shell Free. I am your Toastmaster. And let's get started with our word of the day. Joan, what's our word today?
Our word this morning out of Toastmaster is innovative, and that is in concurrence with your new technology thing. And some of the words innovative would relate to would be advanced, new method, original, creative. So creative thinking is what we do here at Toastmasters. And my name is Joan Pepke, and I will be your wave master for the day.
Nice, thank you, Joan. As Joan mentioned, the theme is new technology. Those of you who do this notice I texted you. I did not call you. I sent you a text message because it's new technology. I did that intentionally this meeting. Except for Rich because Tracy told me Rich was ready. So I knew Rich was ready. We're going to do introductions. Before we do introductions, I just want to tell you a couple things real quick. Lori is our counter, so you will hear a single bell if you do the so, all that. So a single bell ring. We're also going to encourage you to keep your introductions short. And if you are still talking at 15 seconds, she's going to go crazy on the bell because we have a lot of people here. We have to keep our introductions short, and we have a long speech today. So know that when we go around for introduction. So let's go ahead and get started with Rich. You want to get really quickly your name and use the word of the day. And if you have a duty,
my name is Rich Brenner. I'm the general evaluator. I'm speaking as fast as Shell. It's innovative for me. Thank you.
Morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Matt Donnelly, and I'll be doing something innovative today. For the first time in my life, I'll actually do an honest-to-God PowerPoint for Toastmasters.
I'm Jennifer Hicks. I'm self-employed. I touch people's bodies and minds for a living, and that is not innovative. That's ages old.
Joe?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nick Doulis. In the career field that I'm in, you have to be innovative every single day because it seems to change all the time.
And your roles
I
today?
have a time, or can we go through the whole process of that?
Just a little about the colors, we do have a guest.
Oh, I can do that. When you have 2 minutes left in your speech, it doesn't matter if you're doing a prepared speech, a evaluation, or a table topics. Excuse me, I'll take that back. The evaluation and the table topics are a little different. But during prepared speeches, the 2 minutes left, the green light will come on. At the 1 minute mark, with 1 minute left, you get the yellow light coming on. Then when the red light comes on, they have 30 seconds to finish up. Table topics. It's a 2 minute speech in which at the 1 minute mark, the green light comes on, a minute and a half, the yellow light comes on, and then again, at the 2 minute mark, the red light comes on, then you have 30 seconds again to finish up. Then the evaluation section, which is a 3 minute speech, evaluating a particular speaker giving a presentation. At the 2 minute mark, the green light comes on, 2.5 is the yellow light, and then again, red comes on at the 3 minute mark, and then they have 30 seconds to finish up.
And going with new technology, Nick's going to be using the Toastmaster app as the timer today. So that will what will happen is those of you who have downloaded that app on your phone, once I get back to my office and sync it online, it'll sync to your Toastmasters account, and you can pull up the app and it'll tell you if you're a speaker exactly how long your speech was. And it'll also, if we were tracking, it would track your ahs and ums and the word usage. But I don't know if the two ladies are tracking that or not, but it'll actually track all of that. Okay, Lori.
Good morning to fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm Toastmaster. My name is Lori Eckhart. I work at Family Connections. And our region is expanding from 6 to 23 counties, so we are being very innovative in using technology to reach all the way to Canada and North Dakota. Thanks.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome. My name is Tracy Houck. I work at Paris Gibson Square. I am the city commissioner. I am the only commissioner who is being innovative and not getting my packet weekly anymore in paper form. I'm hoping everybody else does. My time. I'm also say so. I am filling in for Greg as secretary today, and I am trying to do it all on an iPad. So as soon as the meeting is done, everybody will have minutes. Brian, one thing is going on. So people know the difference. One thing is going on, so people know the difference. But she was deeming to get 15 seconds.
Thanks, Brian Lux, Morgan Lake Construction. I'm doing something innovative today also. I'm giving a speech that I don't have written out word for word. And we've using a PowerPoint.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Deborah Jenkins, and I work for VisionNet, and backbone of our company is innovative as a telecommunications organization.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Carrie Woods. I work for the Department of Labor and Industry. And not to be a negative person, but sometimes technology really impacts our local businesses when they have coworkers and new hires that want to be on the cell phone all the time. They are learning how to really be creative thinking in addressing that.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, Madam Toastmaster, and guests. My name is Jake Sorge. I'm a writer. And I would say being innovative is something I do on a constant basis, but I think for this play that we're doing, the exit, we're being very innovative in how we're marketing it. It's a lot of online, social media, all that kind of stuff. So that's been interesting and seeing the new ways of promoting things versus the old ways.
Good morning, Madam Toastmaster, guest, and fellow Toastmasters. My name is Cindy Elchin, and I believe that every morning when you wake up, you have an opportunity to be in the ordinary, or you can be innovative and creative thinking in all you do.
Good morning, my name is Sarah Hofstad. I work at East Lucios Goodwill, and daily I am faced with the challenge of new technology. So I need to learn to be innovative.
Good morning, my name is David Curry. I'm a dentist from next door. I guess today. I'm hoping to be a member tomorrow or next time. I'm innovative every day. You always see something new, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kieran Haslam. People define my way of life as rather innovative, and it requires new technology to schedule everything because I can be found at virtually any employer. I take over in most public schools, Paris Gibson Square, the city of Great Falls. I also provide entertainment, whether it's via commercials or live.
Hi, John Harris. I work here at TD&H, best engineering firm in the state. It's also the second oldest profession in the state, in the world, is civil engineering. And we do strive to be innovative, but it's tough when you.
What's the first job?
I'll let you tell us.
Good job, everyone. So maybe we could give you more than 15 seconds. Good job, everyone. So just to let David, especially because you're a guest here and hopefully a new member, let you know how the meeting works is we're going to start with prepared speeches, and they're actually talking out of prepared manuals or speeches from the website. And then from there, we're going to go to table topics, which is impromptu. You'll probably more just observe because usually we have the first members always who don't have roles talking table topics. And then we're going to go into evaluations, and that's where people evaluate the whole meeting. When you hear a single ding on the bell, that's because someone said ah or so, except for during prepared speeches. You won't hear that during that. As a guest, we usually try not to ding guests too much. But once you remember, no holds barred. Just to let you know. Let's go ahead and move forward into our prepared speeches. So Sarah, do you want to talk about what Brian's going to talk about today?
Yes, Brian will be speaking from the Competent Communications book. He will be speaking on getting comfortable with visual aids. His speech will be 5 to 7 minutes, and we are looking for him to display confidence and ease during his presentation, his technology presentation. We're looking for organization, body language, and vocal variety.
Great, thank you. Brian is a longtime employee of Sletton Construction. He has been asked to speak at Leadership Great Falls. For those of you who don't know what Leadership Great Falls is, it's a program put on by the Chamber of Commerce. I've been through it myself, and I was the chair of the committee for many years. It's a really wonderful program. Do it if you've never done it. And he will be speaking on the 17th to that group. It's all business professionals. His speech is supposed to be 10 to 15 minutes, but he's shortening it down to 5 minutes for us today. The title is Leadership by Quality. Leadership by Quality, Brian Rothstein.
Wow, it's so great to be here and see all these young, eager faces just like me. Okay, I'm a little older than most of you, but wiser, right? At least I like to think so. But I do have one thing in common with all of you here today. I'm skipping out on work. I often wonder, if I miss a day of work, will they notice? Will life go on at Sletton Construction if I'm not there? Well, now I know it will. I just hope they don't find out. But what else do I have in common with all of you? Why are we here today? What's important about Leadership Great Falls and why you're a part of it? Any ideas? Shell?
It's a great way to learn about the community of Great Falls.
Great way to learn about the community of Great Falls. And why do we want to learn about the community of Great Falls? We're a part of it, right? And so we can effectively make changes in the community of Great Falls. We're looking ahead to how can we improve Great Falls to make it a wonderful place, a wonderful community for those that live here now and for those that we might want to attract. How is Sletton Construction part of that? Well, I'm here to tell you that. And I have this wonderful PowerPoint of Sletton Construction. You recognize the building?
Yes.
Yes. You used to be there in Toastmasters. Oh wait, wrong group. Here's a little bit about the history of Sletton Construction. There's some highlighted points. What I really like, in 1947, it became a Montana corporation. It issued 100 shares at $100. If you had one of those shares, of those original 100 shares, it'd be worth $1.5 million today. Whoa.
Cool.
Now I know how Bob Sletton got all that money. But there's some other really important things that you see. In 1956, Bob Sletton, who just retired as president, leaving Eric's place, he started working for the company for $400 a month. In 1956, I was born. That's important too. One of the other things I think is really important is in 1963, he had the foresight to get a job in Las Vegas, which was way before the boom. he had the foresight to look ahead and say, let's move, we'll keep the home office in Montana, but we'll stretch out and have a division in Las Vegas in 1963. He'd only been with the company 7 years. Sure, his uncle was the president at that time, but he still had only been with the company for 7 years. And he moved down to Vegas and started a division that became later one of the most flourishing divisions of Sletton Construction. Before the 2008 drop-off, the Las Vegas division was doing alone more than $100 million worth a year, just in the Las Vegas division. More foresight. 1972, he opens an office in Phoenix, Arizona, again, before the great booms. So that kind of foresight, to take that risk and move in to a new area, it's incredible that he did all that. I really like the 1977 he started a water treatment division, because that's what I'm a part of now. We now call it the industrial division. I'm a project manager for the industrial division, as most of you know. I started in 1982, so he started that division just for me. Most of you are familiar with the Northern Building Division. That's who worked around this town and all the northwest area. I'll open an office in Wyoming. In 1982, they built that beautiful building on, this beautiful building in 1982. Really important, in 1991, Bob's been with the company for 35 years, and he's thinking, I'm done. But instead of selling the company, he makes a decision to go ESOP. Who knows what ESOP stands for? John?
Employee stock options.
Employee Stock Ownership Program.
Close.
Okay, very close. But the ESOP, since it's all about the stock, all the employees become stockholders in Sletton Corporation. Why is that important? Well, you can see in 2004, not only did Eric become president, but in 2004, the company, the ESOP program, 100% owned Sletton Construction in 2004. That means everything that I do as a project manager makes a difference to Sletton Construction. I say, look at how Bob had this foresight, and I think that's what you people have here. So important, foresight, the ability to predict, anticipate what's needed. Since 2004, Sletton became LEED qualified. They started a correctional division. They started a solar division. You probably recognize some of these buildings from around town. These are all Sletton projects. There's many, many more, but I couldn't even fit this many on the slide, as you can see. Yeah, you can see the TD&H building down in the lower corner. And you can see this wonderful digesters across the river, which is important to me because I built those. And they did something that I like to call foresight. One, the ability to see ahead, the ability to look behind and see what needs corrected, the ability to be present to satisfy the customer in this time frame, and the foresight to know it's always about the people. That's what the ESOP is about. I have a lot further to go, but I'm going to stop it right here and mention again. This is what's so important. Foresight. That's what each of you has. That's what Sletton has, and that's what Sletton lives by. And I challenge each of you to look at the positions that you're in your company and see where you can hide.
Thank you very much, Brian. I think the leadership class will really enjoy that. Take a moment to please fill out this little piece of paper to give Brian some feedback. This is a real-life speech he is giving, so this feedback is extremely important to him, so he will know what kind of changes he needs to make for his presentation to the leadership group. But please definitely give him that feedback. It's always nice that you can use Toastmasters as a chance to practice speeches you're going to give in real life versus just creating something for the Toastmasters group. Our next speaker is Matt Donnelly, and he is being evaluated by Jake. Jake, what's Matt talking about?
Well, Matt's speech is what does a mentor do? And he said it's from the advanced manual. And it looks like here he's looking to see how adequately prepared he is. And he said to me before, he said, it's not like the icebreaker, he said it's a bit of a ball breaker. So watch for that, I guess. And it's Just looking at how smoothly the visuals are, and how prepared he is, and how he could, and how effective the speech is. So.
I believe this is out of the Successful Club series.
Yes, I think, the Successful Club series, yeah. And it's between 8 to 10 minutes.
8 to 10 minutes. You got that in?
Yep, I sure do.
Perfect. Well, Matt is going for his Triple Crown. He has received his Advanced Communicator letter, I forgot which one. He's received his Confident Leader, and now he's working for his ALB, which is his Advanced Leader Bronze. And I believe this is his last speech he needs, or needs one more. And he'll get his triple. Is this the last one? And he'll get his Triple Crown. So that's really exciting to get those 3 awards in 1 year. And he's talking about mentoring. Mentoring is very important to the club and its benefits. The title is going to be Mentoring. Please help me welcome Matt Donnelly.
A mentor empowers a person to see a possible future and believe it can be obtained. And that's what this is all about. It's about you becoming the best mentor you can possibly be. And since there's all kinds of mentors, there's one in particular, a special one, which has to do with Toastmasters. And what is a Toastmasters mentor? They step up to the plate to help a future Toastmaster out. In other words, the mentee. And they serve as a role model or coach. And for those of you playing the home game, it does not talk about a horse and buggy. It talks about a coach to help them get through get through the nervousness of getting over a speech. And it can also be a trainer. And also a mentor in Toastmasters gives insight on how to become a successful Toastmaster. They can be like Yoda or Obi-Wan Kenobi, for those of you who've seen the Star Wars movies. Give perfect wisdom in order to obtain the ways of the Toastmaster force. And also to help them encourage the mentee to be the success and to pass on their skills to them. In turn, the mentee will become a mentor to a future mentee. It's inheritance. They pass the training on to one person, to another, to another, to another. Inheritance. And the thing to do as a mentor to pass it on to the mentee is help them learn what is Toastmasters all about. What is a CC manual? What does a CL manual obtain? And what does each manual have that it has to offer? And also the mentor explains the do's, don'ts, and donuts about Toastmasters. What can we do? What is to be done in Toastmasters? What is the right way to do a speech? Or what are some of the don'ts on doing a speech? And donuts they can have after the meeting. And they're probably asking, what's involved in the club? What is table topics? Enlighten them what the contests are all about. What does the humor speech contest entail? What is the international speech all about? What does a Wagmaster stand for? What is the awe counter? Any task that we do each Wednesday is something the mentee needs to know in order to get familiar with the settings. And also the mentor is there to help develop confidence, not only in the mentee himself or herself, but also within yourself as well. The more encouragement and confidence you give, the more the mentee will come back. And they'll stay, honestly. And also have them get familiar with the club and its settings. Get them involved in being a timer or being in table topics or even a judge in some of the contests. And once they will get familiar, they can quickly learn speaking skills without having any cold feet. Remember, the mentor is there to warm up their cold feet so they can have the courage to walk and be confident on being a successful speaker. And I know I felt like I've been a dull mentor at times, but if you feel that way, if you feel like, oh, I'm so dull as a mentor, there are ways to sharpen your skills as a mentor. Make it fun for your mentee. Make them feel comfortable about speaking. Have them give that confidence on how they're feeling in terms of speaking. I know they may be a little nervous, but then again, you're there to reassure them and to calm them. and provide feedback. Build their skills that they may already have or wish they had, or they may have had that they don't even know about it. And also the mentor can learn new skills that might help the mentee. What are some new skills that the mentor can use to put on their mentee? And there are many benefits to mentoring. And I'm not talking about the hospital benefits, I'm talking about benefits. It offers numerous benefits. You can learn from your mentees. Who knows, they might have something that may surprise you. You're probably thinking, hey, I wish I had that. Wow, that's so cool. And also continue to use your own ways of mentoring to help the mentor, to help a new member in case they join in. Please keep in mind this is my first time doing this, so that's why I'm sounding a little bit nervous. And also you feel good about mentoring. That's the main benefit right there. It will give you the confidence to become the best mentor you could possibly be in Toastmasters. And also, once you're mentoring somebody, you receive recognition. You can get points for not only yourself, but also the club. You can achieve an award for passing the CL manual, or going up to the ACL or ALB, or whichever manual you have. And also, you'll gain friendships. And as you enjoy Toastmasters, you can learn and grow along the way. In turn, a mentee could stay in the club longer. For example, Rich enjoys Toastmasters so much, he's been with Toastmasters now since the dawn of time. In fact, he told me a story that he taught a caveman named Ukamagook on how to become a successful speaker. And from this point on, there's the evolution thing. In fact, Rich is mentioned in Charles Darwin's Origin of Species. They developed communication skills as they evolved from the tiniest cell to what we are now. And I myself have been with Toastmasters now for 5.5 years and counting, and I'm still learning the ropes. But yet I enjoy Toastmasters so much that I am staying until they pry this thing out of my cold dead hands. And there are key elements on being a mentor, and this is something a mentor should have. They must be available at all times, even if the mentee is having trouble with their speeches. Work with them. Don't give up on your mentee. And also be patient with them. Don't freak out if your mentee is still having trouble, but be cool, calm, and collective. And also be careful how you mentor. Don't get mean, don't get macho, don't get nasty. But if you wind up doing that, then the confidence on both the mentee and yourself will go down the rabbit hole. And things will not look good. And don't ask them confusing why questions. They're going to lose their focus. They've got to stay focused on their speeches. Which leads to what Aretha Franklin said one time. That is the key to becoming a successful mentor and a successful Toastmaster, as well as a successful mentor, period. And also be flexible with your mentee. Even if you're out of town, or if you're on break at work, or even if you're in the John, be sure to help your mentee out, even if they're having trouble with their speeches. Don't leave them. And which leads to being supportive on your mentee. And be knowledgeable of your subject. And as Nick Doulis once said, confidence, buddy. You got to have confidence in mentoring. And also be a good listener. Be open about new ideas that they may have to offer, or you offer to them. And show that you really care, because that is what Toastmasters is all about. I'll skip that since we're running out of time. But can I have multiple mentors? Absolutely. I have 5 mentors. God knows I need all the help I can get, right? But yeah, you can have 1, 2, or even 500 mentors if you so desire. It's all about teamwork. And you can learn ideas from different perspectives. What does Jake have to offer? What kind of ideas does he have to offer? What does Nick have in mind for me? Or what is Karen's suggestion for this speech? And also meet with your mentees. That's what we do at Barnes & Noble. Brian, Nick, and I and Tracy. We meet each Sunday morning at 11 o'clock at Barnes & Noble. It's a fun organization. As you can see, your mentee is now a successful speaker, and they've gotten over 500 Best Speaker Awards. They're now free. Even if they're still learning the ropes, keep mentoring. But pass the mentoring on to each other. And remember, a mentor empowers a person to see a possible future and believe it can be obtained.
Great job, Matt. That's probably one of the better mentor speeches I've seen. That was a really great job. Nick, can I get a timer's report?
Absolutely. Brian spoke for 6 minutes and 28 seconds, and Matt spoke for 9 minutes and 43 seconds.
Okay. Make sure you vote for Best Speaker. Either vote for Matt or vote for Brian for Best Speaker. John, you have a joke for us.
You. A little girl came up to her mom one day and said, "Mom, where did the human race come from?" Mom tells her, she says, "Well, it's simple, dear. God created Adam and Eve, and all people came from them." A couple days later, the little girl goes up to her dad and says, "Dad, where did the human race come from?" Dad says, "Well, it's simple, dear. People evolved from monkeys over millions of years." The little girl gets confused. She goes back to her mom. She says, "Mom, you say people came from Adam and Eve. Dad says they came from monkeys. I'm confused. What's going on?" Mom says, "Well, it's simple, dear. You see, on my side of the family, you came from Adam and Eve. On Dad's side, they evolved from monkeys."
We are now going to move into our impromptu speaking portion, so please help me welcome our table topics master, Kieran Enflow.
When we think of innovation, we think of new technology, we oftentimes tend to think of things which are very prevalent. The iPhone, for instance, a wonderful piece of technology. However, what we seldom realize is that there are things which women pay a great deal more attention to than men, which in fact probably could be more impressive or innovative than the rest of us realize. Jennifer, can you point us to something that makes women's lives better that you find innovative?
An innovation that makes women's lives better. Going back in time, I would have to think that having a stove and a refrigerator in your home improves women's lives tremendously. We take it for granted today. We want gadgets and all kinds of bells and whistles on our appliances. Can you imagine what it was like before we had those things? A mighty hunter comes in with his game and proudly hands over dinner. Right. What do I do now? Many of us modern women might be totally lost with what we would do with it. However, if you can't, you might have an idea because you use the innovations of camping in a different way into your stove and refrigerator at home.
Now then, Jennifer brings up a very interesting point. The refrigerator is actually developed by a man who was out ice fishing, and he realized that when he pulled the fish out of the ice, they froze so quickly that the meat stayed in much better condition than when at home they were stored in an ice box. And that is where the refrigeration system came from. Now then, if you were to go on Shark Tank and you were What's that? Cowabunga, dude. If you were to go onto Shark Tank and you were to share an idea that you have that you think could change the way we function, what would that idea be, and how would your pitch sound, Cindy?
If I was on Shark Tank and I had something to present to everyone, I would make it an imagination station. Kind of like I'm thinking right now there's virtual glasses that you can put on, but it would be an imagination station for you personally. And it would have a video inside, you'd have sound, and you could, just with your eyes and your imagination, you can create that imagination station rather than viewing it. So it would be your imagination that would go into this helmet, and then somebody else could see what you are creating without verbally communicating it. So that would be my pitch to the Shark Tank, and it would be a different way of communicating. Rather than being the recipient, it would be communicating just with our brain waves, just with the ideas and the cells in our head, and that would be my imagination station.
Well, I think we've all heard $1 trillion idea. Speaking of ideas that people love to glom onto, I happen to know that Pinterest is extremely popular. I also happen to know that some fails and some successes stem from that, which means that there probably are some stories that some Pinterest users in this room could give us. I have to guess at random who those Pinterest users could be, because I'm pointing them in that general direction specifically. Tracy, can you tell us about anything you've garnered from Pinterest, good or bad?
Well, I have recently completed a project that I used Pinterest to gather a whole bunch of ideas. It was a visual project, so we had to search the entire internet for multiple choices. It was how to put together a costume for a friend of mine, and most times I've been using Pinterest, and I did not realize that you could share your boards with other people, and you could keep boards private. So that did make a big difference when you have a good solution or a bad solution. So when Kieran told me that he wanted to dress up as a woman, I figured we should go to Pinterest. And it was very successful as we moved through the different options. But he didn't want to make it that simple. He wanted to make it a little bit difficult. So it had to be half a woman and half a man's costume. Because he was conflicted. I'm not sure if he's ever made a decision. So I think it was overall a success. Would you not agree with that?
I think we made positive social impact, yes. Now then, in our lives, all of us occasionally experience things which change the way we view our generation. In fact, innovations will shape generations. That's without question. Deborah, can you point to some innovation in your life that shaped your generation, that shaped the way you function?
An innovation that has helped shape my generation, on the cusp of baby boomer generation. We're younger, but we're almost your generation. What has shaped our world, and we can view this as either positive or negative, is our computers. It's helped us progress in our work and our industry, and it has produced some great results. However, it has also drawn our attention away from one-on-one individual relationships. So on one hand, it's a really good invention that has produced great results and innovative ideas, innovative thoughts, and progression. On the other hand, it has been a detriment towards relationship building. And if you've noticed, the divorce rate has gone up a little bit. Perhaps this could be part of the reason. I'm not sure.
They do say that half of all divorces end in, or half of all marriages end in divorce. Unfortunately, the other half end in death. More baby. I know. Well, I have one more question than what I anticipated this morning, so I'm going to go completely off the cuff here and say, Carrie, I'm going to have to throw you under the bus on this one. You work with new technology. You help new people understand new technology. How much of a difference does it make if people who come into your office understand what they're going to be using in the workplace?
One of the hardest things that I really have to take care of when customers come in is those folks that really don't have the computer skills. Everything that touches our lives anymore really does have to do with computers, and it surprises me, and it makes me question, what have these people been doing with their time? If they're into their 50s, maybe even into their 60s, and they don't have cell phones, they don't have an email, and they really don't even understand how email works. And now, here they are losing their job, they have to go out there, they have to job search, and they're actually afraid to even touch a computer. It makes it really hard to walk them through the process because it gets frustrating for anybody who's been out there in this job search lately. You have to be able to go online and do an online application. And that generally will take 1 to 2 hours, depending on the kind of the company that you're applying with. For these folks that I'm working with, they get so frustrated, and I tend to pile on their frustration, and I take it home with me. I just feel so bad for everything that they're going through, and I try to give them the tools and encourage them. Luckily, we have local resources here in Great Falls where I can actually send people out to adult ed and encourage them to increase their computer skills, because it's going to touch every part of their life. Even if they get that next job, the chances are they're going to need to know how to use a computer and probably text and use a different phone system even from whatever job they had before.
Thank you. Whatever you do this morning, do not vote for a man.
Thank you, Karen. Nick, can I get a timer's report?
You certainly can. I'm going to give you guys a report on this while I got a chance here. I'll first get the time. Jennifer, 1 minute and 5 seconds. Sydney, 1 minute and 12 seconds. Tracy, I'm going to say 1 minute and 15 seconds because when I turned it on, I actually tapped it again and only gave me 15 seconds. So that's an issue we're going to talk about in a second here. Deb, 1 minute 18 seconds, and Carrie, 1 minute 31 seconds. As I pointed out, the majority of the time I was able to use this. However, I actually did tap it, and so it stopped. I was able to review it. And the second thing I want to point out is if you have somebody not listed on your roto dial here, you can't use it.
It should be every paid member in there.
Well, unfortunately, this one person was not in there. So there's, and if you got, the other question is, what are you going to do about guests?
Then we'd have to go to our.
Yeah, so my suggestion, void.
We didn't pay.
Okay, make sure you vote for best table topics. And now we're going to move into our evaluation portion. Please help me welcome our general evaluator, Dr. Rich Breiner.
Evaluation portion of the meeting is one of the ways that we learn to improve our public speaking skills, including speaking fast and like this, or calming down and just getting organized and calling on people in a way that everybody can understand at a pace that is helpful to all. So we'll begin our evaluation portion of the meeting today by calling on our first evaluator. Evaluator and our first speaker, Brian, is Sarah.
that was a great speech. That was a great speech. Thank you for delivering with the information as you did. Clearly, all the objectives were met. You were confident, you were organized, you had great use of body language. You never once turn your back towards the audience. Sometimes we have a tendency to turn our back towards the audience when we have technology that we need to tend to, but you never did that. You kept your frame towards the audience, so it made us feel engaged. I saw that, again, the audience, we were all very engaged. Your PowerPoint was very clear and precise. There was no question as to something not being clear. I'm somewhat from out of town. I'll still say I'm from out of town, a couple of years in town, and I was able to see a lot of new structures that I had no idea existed. And I believe for a big crowd, this is very valuable. I will from now on look for those structures and know that Sletton gets the credit. Thank you. I'd like to see more eye contact. Eye contact should be maintained for as long as a complete thought. And the goal is to have made eye contact with every individual in the room by the time that your speech has been completed. I love your storytelling ability. I like that you pick from your own personal experience, and you did a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And evaluating our second speaker, Matt Donnelly, is Jake. Come on up, Jake.
Thank you, Rich. Matt was talking about an important topic for us as Toastmasters, and he told me beforehand, he said he was nervous about using the technology. I think it was rather done rather well. It was clean. We could see what he was talking about. He went from point to point, and it wasn't something where we were like, okay, what is he talking about? Where is he going? I think the direction was sound. We knew the start, the middle, the end, and we knew how to get there. I think something that struck me right off the top of my head that I thought maybe we could have been tightened up a little bit or changed a little bit is the difference in how the notes were presented. You know, some pictures, some different colors, some, you know, just different visual things that made it interesting to look at. And I think that just comes from, you know, doing it. But I think another thing I really enjoyed, Matt, was your humor you brought to the speech, and I think you really prevented it from being dull. Because it could have turned into a dull speech and like, okay, here we go. But you know, you brought some good humor to it. You know, you brought up a lot of what Rich was, you know, the history of mankind and how Rich has been there from the very start. So you know that might, you know, I don't know. Rich might have issue with that, but it was funny and it made us laugh, and that's always a good thing to kind of keep the audience on board with what you're talking about. And so I would say overall, it was a strong topic. It was very relatable, and I would say definitely try to, you know, change up the notes, change up the look, keep it, you know, different. It's variety is always a good thing. You know, we keep our visual attention, but I think the topic was good, and the direction of how we were going was well. So nice job, man.
Thank you, Jake. And we'll continue with our evaluation team. I'd like to call on our word and grammarian person today, Joan Papke.
As Wife Master today, I was looking for the good and the bad uses of the word, and I have a list of the misused words, and I'll just go through them quickly. I'm not gonna give names to these things, but the ones I heard were gonna bring it, gotta bring it, and then gonna. Another one was, so when here, and so I think. The transitions in our sentences begin with, and so let me do this, and so let me do that. We use that word to transition a lot. You know, he, could, a double whammies, two. Mom tells her, she says. There's something wrong with that. We all know that. That hurts the ears. The good and excellent uses, there were so many this morning. I just enjoyed those. Shell used the word please. We hear that so often. And sometimes it slips our thoughts. But the word please connotates courtesy, friendship. And I liked that very well. Remember, no holds barred. That was another one. Carrie Wood's pile on the frustration. What have been doing with these times? What have we been doing with these times? That hurt right here. I don't know what I've been doing, and I don't know how I've been doing. I don't know why I put that under X, but I should put it back over to Missy. That's what I should do. Tracy, shared boards. What the heck was she talking about there? Over my head again. And trying to do it all on an iPad, and I thought, oh, I just admire you so much. That's awesome. I'll never do it, but that is great. Brian, in his speech, used words and language and grammar. Young, eager faces, effectively, make changes. His title of his speech, Leadership by Quality, also language, the grammar there. Challenge, 100% old. Foresight, predict, flourish. There are so many verbs in there, so much action. See ahead, look ahead, be present, to know all of those. There was plenty of them there. Jake, adequate, smooth visual. Innovation is a constant. Cindy, imagination station. Awesome, I love that one. Jennifer, Hunter probably hands over dinner. That was a great visual right there. John Jarrah's level of excellence. That was great. Nick, I'll take that back. $1 trillion idea from Karen. So there were many of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. And we'll hear from 60 seconds from our counter this morning, Lori.
First time being the off counter, it was fun, but I found I was not as quick as I could be as far as ringing the bell. You noticed at the beginning we did something different with the 15 seconds for the introductions. That was kind of fun, so if I confused you with the multiple ringings. We have a winner as far as our most used filler word, and that is so. We had at least 13 so's that I counted. Our second most used word is awe and kind of hard to distinguish between those two. A lot of those come so quickly I didn't get a chance to ring the bell, but I tried to mark them down. And then we had lots of you knows in between. That's my tally. I really don't want to point anyone out, so let's just say we don't need to work on it.
Thank you, Lori. And now we'll do a quick evaluation of the entire meeting. A couple of quick things. Number one, our Toastmaster did a couple of things that I really liked. Number one, she shortened the self-introductions. She made us be short, and it was good because we had time at the end for somebody like Kieran, our table topic master, to call on all 5 people who had no jobs. Every one of them got to be called upon, and that is not part of Kieran's job, it's the part of the Toastmaster, and she did a great job of controlling that meeting, that part of it. Excellent job. Also, another great thing that our Toastmaster did this morning was she noticed that there's only one guest in the room, and so she talked about the 3 parts of the meeting right to David and giving him that personal touch. It was so effective that he left early. There are some things that we do well by habit, and I just want to remind you real quickly of some of those things. Every one of our evaluators called our speakers. They knew that. Every one of our speakers wrote a self-introduction and presented it to our Toastmaster. These are the things that make the meeting hum and make us look really professional. By the way, our guest is going to join, and he is a doctor of dentistry. His dad is the one that works on. One last thing about this meeting. I think that we had the art counter and the grammarian roles separated today. I believe that we need to have the grammarian and the art counter roles announced right near the beginning, so that when there are guests here and they see dinging during the self-introduction, they know what it's for. And that didn't happen today because Lori didn't get to tell her job until we went around for a while. So it's a small thing, but again, it's just one of those little things that can calm the nerves of our guests. And great job today. Turn it over to our Toastmaster.
Thank you, Rich. All of you have a little piece of paper in front of you, or this is Toastmaster of the Quarter. Can you please fill that out on behalf of myself? You can write Michelle, that is okay, that is my legal name. Nick, can I have some times for our evaluators?
Absolutely. Lori spoke for 58 seconds, which means she qualifies for her role. Sarah spoke for 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Jake spoke for 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Rich spoke for 2 minutes and 4 seconds. And Joe spoke for 3 minutes. And I want to apologize to Sarah because I actually hit the wrong button at the time, but you did qualify. So.
Woo! Right, so everyone qualified. Great job. So vote for your best evaluator. Vote for the best table topic speaker so Nick can tally all of this. And let's talk about next week's schedule. Our Toastmaster is Miss Cindy. Our word and grammarian is Tracy Houck. Our awe counter is Brian Loxton. He is giving the bell.
I need a backup on that just in case.
Okay.
I end up stuck in duty.
I don't have a duty, so I can take over if you can. Our IPJ is Jennifer. Our timer is John Juris. Speaker 1 is Brian Hoban. Speaker 2 is Joan Pepke. Table topics is Kyle. Deborah, you're our general evaluator. Sarah, you're evaluator 1 again. I believe she volunteered to take over a role for somebody. So now we never signed that back to back. Tracy Tomich is evaluator 2. And Cindy, you wanted to tell her what the theme was?
Absolutely. Let's have some blarney fun with Irish Tales. Irish Tales is our theme.
Jennifer, some ideas for your IPJ there. And then if I can make sure I get that paper back for area contest sign up, if I can make sure that comes back to me because I haven't seen that come back this way. We can have all that done. And do we have the votes?
Coming down right now.
I need that. All righty. Are we ready? Our table topics winner is Carrie Woods. Our best evaluator, Dr. Rich Broiner. And by the way, David did not leave because of he has to open up the dentistry. He's already told us he has to leave early. And finally, our speaker of the day, our best speaker is Brian Loxton. And that adjourns our meeting. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day. Good job.